Welcome to the 5th episode of the PLAC Legislative Internship Programme podcast that's proudly sponsored by the European Union. My name is Sani Amina and I'm from Lagos State. And today we're going to be discussing gender-based violence and legal intervention in Nigeria. Here with me on this podcast, because obviously I can't discuss it by myself, my colleagues. I'm going to start with the only man that joined us today on this podcast. He's going to be championing the cause of men, and he's here with us.
Yeah, I am Victor Chimese from Abia State, and I'm delighted to be on this podcast.
Thank you, Mr. Victor. Hi, I'm just Finemegogana from Edo State.
Aisha Ibrahim from Kano. And I am Eunice Moravi-Bola from Borno State. I'm glad to be here.
Okay, thank you, my wonderful ladies that are joining us as well. So I think now that we've done that, let's get down to the podcast proper. We all understand gender-based violence. I mean, it's not something foreign. We've seen it, or we've heard about it one way or the other. It simply speaks to violence that affects an individual. I mean, based on the fact that he or she is an individual. It's not specific to anybody. It could be a guy, could be a girl, could be anybody, could be anything. But then I know that there's more to gender-based violence and the specific individuals that are affected. Don't you think so, Victor?
Yes. Basically, it's a very serious and broad topic. Of course, when we say gender-based violence, it's more perceived to be against women. But it's a very sensitive issue. There's gender-based violence against women. There's gender-based violence against men. Funny enough, there is same-sex gender-based violence, like women against is another woman to a younger woman, an older guy to a young child that is a boy and all that. So it's a very sensitive topic. And one thing we know is that for the male folks and for the same-sex gender-based violence, is basically underreported because of cultural perception and the likes. For example, we've seen that for Lagos State government, after setting up the office on gender-based violence issues, we saw that in 2019 we had about 148 men who were bold enough to come and report that their spouses were violating them, were beating them up. And within 2 years, that number doubled, right? So you now have to begin to think, what of those that are not able to come out and report? So it's a very serious issue that really needs to be treated.
But then over 31% of women in 2018 were reportedly facing issues of physical violence. So you can't just say men are being violated more. Yeah. They have more issues concerning women, because when it comes to women, the issue of rape, the issue of assault, the issue of spousal battery, there are more issues that are more depressing and emotionally affecting the mindset of women. You can see that if women are not given more priority when it relates to violence, it's not well dealt with. Yeah. So if you're talking about men, the issue of men being abused is not like it is not there. It is there. But then most men are not willing enough to speak out. But then we have more women facing these issues, especially young children. You can see young girls of the ages of from 5, even a baby is being abused, and the abuser are usually male. Yes, so I'm going to have to agree with Justin on that one. Women actually suffer more. Fine, they are men, but women, that they are more prominent, more cases. And then thank you for just bringing that in, because I was about to jump right into the types of violence. I know that there are many types of violence, that we go through. Marvi, I mean, you're a lawyer, you might as well just throw us into that.
Yes. So of the types of violence, I think the most prominent one is physical violence. And this takes so many forms. You can have assaults, battery, female genital mutilation, and also honor killings. Okay, and then when we say assault, most people think it as, coming to attack someone, but it's not necessarily always like that. Assault technically means threatening someone or putting person in reasonable fear of harm being done to that person. So you don't actually have to touch my person for you to have assaulted me. Yes, if look at me threateningly, maybe you act in a way that is violent towards me. That acts as violence. And then we can talk about battery actually beating me, female genital mutilation. You'll be surprised number of women that have experienced female genital mutilation in Nigeria. It's a very sad thing. And this verbal, another form of violence in this verbal violence. This verbal abuse can take many forms, and surprisingly, it's given a very high toll on the psychology of it's not many people always want emotionally, you understand? And then you can see that many people are suffering from depression as a result of that, because it lowers the self-esteem. Yeah. It's involved the acts of labeling, rebuking, you understand? And even excessive yelling. People will just use their words, and before you know it, you just feel like you are gone. Everything is everything. Yeah. So many people face this, and it gives a negative effect psychologically. Yeah.
Also, for another form in sexual abuse. Sexual abuse is a very big thing, and it affects majorly women and girls, and also male. Because I remember the last time I was in the hospital. I don't want to mention the name of this facility. Yeah. I brought in some survivors of rape, and the doctor told me that the last time he had issues of males, young boys being brought into the hospital. They were abused by their religious leader. About 7 of them. So it's really an issue when it comes to sexual violence. We have rape, we have sexual harassment, where you talk to people using words, sexual provoking languages on them, and it's really a big issue, a form of violence that many agencies are fighting on. I even heard about this one where they get people, children, and include them in pornographic movies. Oh yeah, they are not winning. Even breast ironing. Yes, I heard that one. This one is a new one. It has been there, just that many people do not talk about it. Breast ironing is when a young girl is born, and at the age of 5-6, they iron her breast so she will not be looking sexy. They say when you have breasts on, you can attract men. So they iron your breast so your look of beauty, or what make a man look at you and start lusting, will not be there.
And also, while we see most of these forms of violence occur on both genders, and then some, just like I mentioned on same sex, we have one form that is very much prevalent, but against women, which is the socio-economic form of violence, right? Basically, where you have women who are deprived of the social rights, their economic rights, money matters, people deprived of their father's inheritance. You have, you have persons who feel they don't want their women to be bold enough, so they won't be able to look up to them, so that they will ever be dependent. And then they leave them with little or no choice to respond when they are being abused. And this socio-economic form of violence, it tends to lead to a lot of other forms of violence, because the woman is not empowered. The woman don't have the voice or the power to respond, because of she has been suppressed, which is a very dangerous form. And also, this, among others, really needs to be tackled and nipped to the bud.
It's true. Stemming from this, I'm privy to this particular phrase. You will see some men that will, when they are doing something wrong to their wife, and they're like, this is wrong. They say, where was she? Shepi doesn't have anywhere to. And let her go now. She has forgotten that we are her family. And things like this, they will just bring it up and live. So honestly, but I know. But what are the drivers? Why I don't even know. Why do we even know? What causes all these gender-based violence matter? What's the beginning?
Talking of this cause drivers of gender-based violence, if you look at it, another major factor that causes this is underrepresentation. If women are underrepresented in politics, who will vote? Who will voice out their cries? Nobody. If you look at it, the women are purely underrepresented. Understand? Yeah. And when you look at it, another factor is this legal factor. They look at it. Some societies look at it like the women are the cause of gender against themselves. Yeah. So usually in these cases, if they're taken into the law, they just look at it. Oh, What did she do? How did she dress? You understand? What was she wearing? So all these kids, the moment they go, oh, she's the cock of it, then they'll just leave it, and then there won't be any. And then the society also accepted that for example, and they say it's against women. They think that this is just it's natural, and the male are above the female, and that's one religion on the lack of a proper understanding of religion. And there is a very tell you that the woman, a woman understand that God says that the woman is superior, but He says that they are superior over the responsibility that He has given to them. Not that they can build the capacity to do a lot of things in politics, in education, in whatever the society has to offer. Women can excel. You understand? But the society understands that no, they are, you understand, inferior, and all this acceptance is another major cause of what? Violence against them. And so anyone feel that, look at this one, I think I can do more than you. I was doing better at home. Well, why is he excelling and other things? So all this are another cause.
Also flowing from that, I would say ignorance too. Because naturally, one of the dominant idea is that men are better, men have the power, men need to take control. So a lot of people don't know better that it's not right for you as a person. And this goes both ways. It's not right for you as a person to abuse another person in any way. Especially, for this psychological abuse. I don't think most people who abuse people psychologically even know that they are they're like, okay, this is just normal, and then they gaslight people, they emotionally blackmail people.
Sometimes you see manipulation, done unintentionally. People don't do that. They don't think it's normal. They just go through.
And also basically on the culture, we see that some cultures, they just put that barrier to the way women can speak up for themselves, the right they have for themselves. And you have young girls who are intelligent, but they are married off at a very young age. And sometimes that's the end of education for them. And it comes with a lot of emotional damage. She loses the right to speak up. She loses the right to her social life. She loses the right to her economic life. She becomes ever dependent. Her only job begins to be just to give kids and reproduce, which kind of cause lots of harm, not only to her, but also to society, because she's giving birth, there's no enough means to take care of those kids. It's leading to violence, leading to insecurity, leading to a lot of harms. Yes, and so it needs...
That's, the effects are on us, this. So then I'm aware that, the effects on the person. Now, I know that it goes beyond the individual as itself, It comes into the society. These people that are traumatized, when they go into the society, they begin to affect individuals. A person that is not okay cannot be with someone that is okay. There is a likelihood that unokay person will make the person that is okay or okay as well. So it could be a fun. It's true. I'm serious. And then we have other issues, things like the fact that if these people begin to run away from maybe interactions with other individuals, you give such issues that if someone knows the only way to maybe sexual relation is you have to fight, you have to drag the person, if you see someone that is coming with peace and love and care, you'll be like, no, this is not what I read. No, this is different.
Exactly.
You seek out something else. You understand? So I know that particularly for those ones, there are things. There are also effects that affect, and then if someone that is violated is working in a workplace, there's a likelihood they may not give their
they may not perform at top rates. It greatly affects self-esteem, and then there's a high likelihood that the person will also repeat the same thing to another person. Like they say, hurt people,
other people.
Exactly.
And they also have tangible cost effects, like economic effects and indirect, tangible effects. And for the direct one, we have the cost on your emotions, your ability to get back on yourself. Because most people who go through violence, they come back and you see their reaction to life is quite different. And I had an opportunity to talk to some persons who were abused, and you see them, they change. Like there was a young girl who said her father was a pastor and her father was an abuser. So she said something. She said, who should I probably talk to about?
Probably never go to church again.
She was totally down. So the fact that when she was brought to our center, I had conversations with her, and she said something like, Auntie, you will not understand. This is the only man I have known. I'm just 50. So if this kind of person go out without proper care, they will just be all out.
Where would they get it?
And the cost effect is also there. There's no enough money, no funding for them to take care of themselves.
Yeah.
These are persons from very poor background. And she said, when I reported to my mom said, if I talk to anybody, they will not pay my services.
This is also
That is why she was quiet. So for her to have spoken up, we had to find ways to get our fees to be paid, because she had to believe us that we were going to help her.
Yeah.
So just imagine if she had not been able to speak, or even met people who were willing to help. Because she has been telling her mom kept telling her, keep quiet, you are the cause.
She'll wake up?
Yes.
Okay, oh well. Honestly, there are many. This is something that would go on forever. So what is Nigeria doing? Like this, I'm just thinking of it now, that so much, like some of the things people are even saying, breast ironing, I'm confused. And then, like, what is Nigeria as a country? I know that, there's obviously legal intervention. The country is stepping in. They are trying to do something. There is something happening somewhere. Maybe they are taking the lead. They are seeking solutions or something like that. And be forgive me, but I'm going to talk back to you. You're a lawyer, so yes, tell me what the law is saying.
Yes, okay. When it comes to this, the government has made various steps to ensure that adequate, or should I say, has provided laws to combat these issues. For example, Nigeria is a signatory to the Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination Against Women. The legislature has passed a Violence Against Persons Prohibition Act. We have the Child Rights Act. We also have the Police Act. That we have the Constitution. Let's not forget the Constitution. We have the Constitution. And also various states have also adopted laws to suit, the peculiarities of their own states. So government has been active when it comes to this. Government has been very active, and let's not talk about what even happens on the floor of the national assembly.
Legislators themselves, aside the laws that they are even passing. But yesterday, I was at the National Assembly, and guess what was happening? It was orange in the National Assembly yesterday. When you were there, yesterday, the Minister for the Senator for FCT, she came and then she was moving the motion. We are currently in the 16 days of activity. And our partner is, that's what I'm saying. It was orange at the well in the family yesterday. She moved the motion, and I loved the fact that all the women that are present in the National Assembly, first and foremost, they were sponsored under her motion. And then secondly, the men, they came out. I just love the support. Particularly, one senator made me happy when he stood up, and then the speaker was asking him that, you're not a woman now. If women that are sponsored, he said, Mr. Speaker, I may not be a woman, I came from a woman.
So that some of our states, as of this 36 states, only about there's still some states that have still not included this ban act. And if they will have done that, this issue of GB SGB would have been a bit curtailed, especially in the farm world where they are facing a lot of this issue and they are being silent because there's no legal intervention. Yes, taking that act, enacting that act, you understand, will help in the law in prosecuting these offenders and then helping those who have suffered this gender-based violence.
And also we also see that some states have some mechanisms tackling gender-based violence issues. For example, in Lagos there is a department for SGB. Basically, and it's been very proactive, very active, because it has opened the eyes of the world. There are lots of things happening. Of course, I also mentioned the issue of men now being bold enough to come out, young persons bold enough to come out. There's a hotline you can just dial, and then there's a smart and quick response team which picks up issues and makes sure those issues are followed up to the end. We've had religious leaders who have been escaping the hands of the law, and this unit has brought them down to look. In fact, there was one very popular religious leader. He has been escaping the hands of the law, but recently was sentenced, right? Yes, it's very popular, and they have some.
Lekiti is doing really good.
Yes, we have Lekiti, we have, I think, Kondo and the rest, Cross River and the rest, where immediately the issues mentioned, they follow it to the end, and there is one wonderful thing, name and shame, which two things it does: it deters continuous occurrence, and it embodies victims to now come out and speak up. So I think even though we have lots of things that need to be done, a lot has also been done.
Since I know Rivers, aside from those, they have to list what is holding you back. Then the startup part of Nigeria, just Rivers State, yet to read the law, and they are working on it. They just need more protection officers. How do you know? Just they just need more protection officers from the local governments in that state for them to make it work out. And Edo State has been pushing for it. You could see Betsy Obaseki, the governor on the lady of Alton. She's doing so well when it comes to issues of gender-based violence, and other states are also doing perfectly well. Just River State is against to do that. And I heard Kaduna State talking about the North. I was so happy when I said the castration. We maybe now we need everywhere. I think we were not careful. We need what we need everywhere. But move on. You know, let's not accuse or anything. And then particularly, I know that there are two bills in the Senate. There are two bills in the House. You know, there's one in the Senate, and then there's one in the House of Representatives that talk about. The one in the Senate is they want to amend the Police Act to create like a special anti-rape unit. The one in the House is just a child pornography protection bill. Mm-hmm. These are two bills. I don't know. I think they are. I've not really delved into the nitty-gritty, but I'm sure that you guys have seen them. So, yes, for the creation of anti-rape units, it's very, very needed. Because aside that, there is gender units in the police stations. I think the gender units are not doing more well with most of them with issues of rape. Because I witnessed a situation where a police officer was asking a 9-year-old girl what she was wearing when she was raped, and this is not really necessary. And I think the police officers need training. They need training. So if this unit is created, I'm very sure it will be able to be direct on the issue of rape. There will be more proficiency on the issues of officers that will be handling those issues. So it's very, 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 very needed. And for the issue of the pornography, yes, because a lot of children are being forced into acting or watching pornographic sites and movies, and which they are not. You know, children most times they don't even know what they are called up to do. They're just doing it because I am told to. So if these laws can be enacted and be utilized, this will curb these issues. But we know there's been the gender units. I think as of 2014 they said gender units in all the police stations. Are those ones not working? Now that we are saying we want to get anti-rape units again, we see that they are not functioning properly or something. They have, but I feel they don't have enough knowledge of what issues like rape how to address them in real life.
Yeah, and personally for me, I've not really felt the impact of the gender units in some of the police stations I've been to. It's almost as if they don't exist. You know, it's always hard trying to get these things, and I would not say their impact is largely unfelt. So I think this anti-rape unit is going to be focused, specialized, so that, you know, we can root these things out. Enough training, enough manpower, enough funding, so that we can be focused on this and get this done. And then also for the child pornography bill, I think this is coming at the right time. It's a very innovative bill, looking at how rampant phones are. Everybody's online. So we need to actually control the content. If not, it increases the rate. Because if you are seeing this thing every day, You go online, you see child pornography, you normal. Yeah, and at a point you would want to act in your house. You do your. Yeah, so I think it's good that we're trying to control these things in their infancies.
So it's been a long one. So going forward now, what can we do? How should we go about it? So how should we move forward? How do we move?
Yeah, I think it's very important that we have voices to speak and representation. Basically, we have just 4 women in the Senate. So how will this 4 women came from the court, right? So how will these 4 women be able to speak up in a parliament of about 109 senators, right? In the House of Reps, it's about 16 out of 360. That's right? Their voices won't even be heard. It's even you even see them in this place. In about 50 states, there's 0 women in participation in the House of Assembly. So who speaks up for the women? So we have to look at how these issues can maybe be addressed, having more women in political positions to be able to speak up, because of course you can't speak to my issues if you are not me. So basically we have to see how to get more women in power.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll say the government should provide adequate funding on issues relating to GBV. The gender unit, they keep asking for money for case file. Please, the government need to do more work on funding. Thank you.
On my part, I would like to say that the traditional and religious leaders, who are powerful leaders, especially in our society, need to come into this and work with civil society hand in hand to sensitize, to educate people on the issue of this gender-based violence, especially against women. Let's look at it. The woman is created from the rib. You understand? Not from your toe, from the bone. You understand? Not to step on. You understand? So love her. The woman is a symbol of humanity. Let them talk about it. These are in the scriptures. They are there in our scriptures. Let them sensitize our people. Let them talk about it. Let humanity be peaceful. Let this humanity prevail. You understand? These religious leaders have to go and work hand in hand with this civil society. They are very active in propagating this issue against gender-based violence. Yes, and in that note, I would say stricter measures, stricter punitive measures should be taken when it comes to all forms of violence, not just violence against women, not just violence against men, not just sexual violence, but against all forms of violence. Stricter measures, and then let's see how we can make the wheel of our justice turn faster, so that these cases can be addressed on time.
On time,
yes.
Very
so
important.
That's it. And also more awareness, more advocacy. Many about theater and our NGOs.
Women, people should speak up. That's my own. I feel like nobody says I'll say for you. We should all speak up. People should talk. People should say, if you know somebody, if you've been victimized, come out. If you know somebody, motivate them to come out. There's still time. People will... I don't mean to like this all the time to keep quiet, actually. If people will support you, they will share your side. I know sometimes this is coming, they could be shameful, but speak up. It's only when you speak up that we can help you. And people are ready. FIDA, all these non-governmental organizations, they're on need. So I think what we need to do now is really, really let these people know that you're not alone. And we are with you. We are for you, They are united. We are going to help you, however, we'll go through it, for her. And I think we've come to the end. It's been a wonderful one. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast. My Chimeze, my friend, the only man here, and my wonderful ladies are doing it here. Thank you so much. I have and once again, thank you so much to our sponsor, the European Union, and PLAC, obviously, that gave us this platform, because that's where we are interning. So to our next podcast. When next I see you, have a wonderful time. And guys, bye.
Bye.